how to become more successful in life. There's 10 things I've learned over the last 20 years of creating multi-million-pound businesses and becoming successful. The first one is making sure you set clear goals. I can't say this enough. When people come to me and they say, John, I want to achieve something, and I ask them, well, what do you want to achieve? And they can't answer the question. So you get really, really specific on the things that you actually want to achieve. So set the goals out and start working every single day to achieve them. Because here's the thing. First question is, what is it I need to do today and it's going to get me close to my goal? The second question is, what's stopping me from doing that? And all you got to do is just drop the things that's going to stop you from doing that. That's number one. Number two is you got to develop a strong work ethic. Consistency in everything that we do plays a massive part to whether we be successful or not. So if you want to get a six-pack, then you should go to the gym every single day and work out and eat clean. Imagine if you just cut out carbs for a whole year, how much different your life would actually be. We got to make sure that we're actually doing the work, we're having that strong work ethic. When people come to you and you tell them, I can't do this because of this, because I have to get this done, this becomes what we call a non-negotiable. When you have a non-negotiable and you stick to it, you become successful. Three is embrace lifelong learnings. The problem with a lot of people when they get into wanting to create more success in their life, they want it instant, they want it now, they want it quick. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I want you to replace the word success with patience. We've got to be patient. And by the way, I'm guilty of this as well. I always want to do something, I want instant results really quick, but it doesn't work like that. Got to make sure that you're putting the time and you're starting to get the feedback. It's the little tweaks that you do every single day that make you successful. You want to be successful in life, then you got to play the long game. You got to put the reps in. Again, you want to build big muscles, you got to put the reps in at the gym. No one's going to lift the weights for you. You have to be the person that walks through that door. You want to be successful, you're the one that's going to make you successful. Number four, you got to cultivate resilience. There's going to be a lot of things that happen in your life, and as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, you're going to get a lot of people trying to take you down. There's going to be a lot of people that say things about you that are not true. There's going to be people who are jealous of you. I guarantee you, any one of you watching this right now and you're successful in what you do, I promise you there's going to be people around you who don't agree with what you do. Some of them maybe even think you're crazy. Isn't that true with business and entrepreneurship? We have this great idea, we want to do something great, but people think we're crazy because our ideas are too big for them. That's why they say don't tell someone with a small mind big ideas, because they can't hold it in. So you cultivate that resilience, the thing that's going to keep you moving forward every single time. Number five, build strong relationships. They say that it's not who you know, but it's who knows you. I remember when I first started off as an animator, so I was a computer animator, but I only got that job because when I was at university, I started to go to a lot of these 3D festivals. I met a guy called Chris Cook. So Chris, if you're watching this, thank you for the opportunity. And I said to him, I would love to become an animator. I'd love to learn from you. Do you have any runner jobs? And he gave me a job in central London where I was a runner. I'd go out taking out all the coffees and teas for people, bring them back to the office. And because they'd always work late, each animator was leaving, I would stay behind and says anything you want, so I'd get people dinner as well. And there was one time this animator opened up the computer and let me start to animate. That's how I became an animator. That's how I worked on films and TV shows and games. And this gave me that advantage because I was around people who really wanted me to win, but I was learning from them. So you got to build those strong relationships. Same with business. A lot of you say, well, John, I need money to buy property. No, you need contacts, you need finance to buy property. People say, John, all these companies invested in that become some of them unicorns. How did you get them? I got them because I found the right people. I found the people who had the contacts. I found the founders, a lot of my celebrity friends. By the way, people say, well, John, how do you get in touch with celebrities? I had a lot of value. A lot of people try to go and take from them, but you want to go and give to them. What value can you add? So a lot of the investment and allocation deals that I get, they come from knowing the right people. So if you know the right people, I promise you, you'll become successful. Number six, manage your time wisely. I think it's 84,600 seconds in a day. The question is, what are you going to do with it? If I said to you, for every second, you get a pound, and every pound that you, or dollar, and you don't use it, at the end of the day, it just gets reset. So if you only used 1,000 of those seconds, you don't use the rest. Time is your biggest asset. So there's a few things you want to be successful. I recommend you all get your own VA. A virtual assistant can take care of all the things that suck up your time. For example, emails. You've got AI that can do a lot of that. Read all your emails and reply to all your emails. You've got phone calls that they can take the messages for you. Maybe some things you do in your job, you could actually outsource some of that, or in your business. Best hire you could hire is a chief strategy officer. Chief strategy officer is someone who's going to guide you on what you need to do next. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, because they will guide the path that you need to pave in order to become successful. One really good tip I can give you with time, and I remember this person said this to me once. He said, John, if you don't plan, you'll never succeed. So you need to plan to succeed, or you succeed to fail because you don't plan. What I find a lot of people do, they just kind of using them all their time. So one little strategy I can give to all of you, make sure you are constantly putting putting things into the calendar and scheduling them in. That includes time with your kids, that includes time with your partner, your husband, your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, business partner. Because isn't it true, as entrepreneurs, we fill up those calendars with things to do. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that we are having a lot of time that is scheduled, even focus time. Like people say, John, you're an entrepreneur, you have all these businesses, you do real estate. How do you have time to do all these YouTube stuff? It's because you schedule time for it. You carve out time. When you carve out time, it gets done. So it's interesting, my team said to me, John, I've got this to-do list to do. And they said to me, how can you make it easier? So schedule timing for focus time. That's number one. Second thing I can do when it comes to saving more time, making sure that you have strategic thinking time. The good news with this, you can pair it with some exercise. I quite often go for walks, anything from 1 to 5 miles of walking, and then I think, right? I don't even play music, I think. What's the thing I need to focus on? What's the challenge right now? What are the possible solutions? When you pair movement up with thought process, it starts to happen easier. Give that a try and you'll save a lot more time, or you create something called net time, which is no extra time. Number 7, part of success is having good health. A friend of mine, Robin Sharma, said to me once, those who don't make time for health will eventually make time for illness. So look, I know some of you have the best intentions of going to the gym, you want to get fit, you want to get into shape, but do you know the big problem is you don't schedule time for it. And if you can pair it with some kind of learning, for example, when I'm at the gym, I'm running, I get to listen to podcasts or I get to listen to audiobooks. So there's certain times that you want to have strategic thinking where there's no lyrics, nothing. And there's time where if you're working out, you can learn as you're doing this as well. When we talk about health, people say, John, why do you do cold plunges? Because when you have anxiety, when you have stress, make sure when you go into the cold plunge, obviously check with your physician first if you're healthy enough, because I know with some people it could be a challenge. When you go into like chin deep like this, so the cold gets onto your vagus nerve and it resets your whole central nervous system. So you feel reset, you feel like you've had a caffeine, you feel like a coffee, like wow, you got this energy. So making sure that you always take care of your health. 80-20 rule. 80% of the time for me, I eat clean. 20% of the time, I can eat what I want. The problem is you try and stay healthy all the time. You kind of do it for a little while and bang, then you go the opposite. Health is your wealth, is your energy, it's your vitality, it's your being, how you be, how you live. 8 is stay financially disciplined. I don't have to say this to you. It's not about how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. I know people who are making like 100,000 plus, but they're still broke. How can you be broke after making 100,000 plus? Because it's what they do with it. So let me tell you, if you want to become successful financially, there's a few things you got to figure out. Number 1, you got to make sure that whatever you put your money into, that it's going to be some kind of ROI, which stands for return on investment. Second thing is when you put your money into something, is it growing you as a person? Because they say that success is all about how successful you become, not how successful somebody else is. What does success mean to you? If I ask you this question, how much money is enough money for you? And it's different for everybody. By the way, this is just as an aside, this is why we created Success.club, where every single month, a lot of my mentors who teach me this stuff, I thought to myself, God, it'd be great if my community had access to my mentors. If you would love to learn from my mentors, head over to Success.club. I'll put a link below this as well so you can check it out. When we talk about staying financially disciplined, what do you waste your money on a lot? I know a lot of my friends that waste a lot of money on like doodads, clothes, or they'll buy things that are what we call liabilities. So a liability is something that takes money from your pocket, and we want an asset, something that puts money in our pocket. And when you can do that, I promise you, everything else changes because you stay disciplined. Do you know, just having a Starbucks every single day adds up to $1,000? People say, John, I don't have $1,000. Just don't have Starbucks every single day. Make your own coffee, or even eating out. Do you know eating out, like if you live in I don't know how many of you live in central London. I remember just going to London, you take your taxis, take your tubes, eat out for lunch, have your coffees. Like it can add up to a couple $100 a day. So stay disciplined with it. I actually did a whole keynote called the 30-30-30-10 strategy. So the idea is, out of all the money you earn, you take 30%, put it into your own business, the other 30% into somebody else's business, the other 30% into asset things, and 10% into what we call a moonshot. Basically things at high risk. If it goes to zero, it doesn't matter. Stay financially disciplined. Stop wasting money on stuff that's not making you better. In fact, the number one thing that you should be investing your money in or putting your money into is financial education. Learning from other people, being around people. You hang around people who are rich, you're gonna be rich. In fact, I'm gonna link a video at the end of this to show you some of the things that rich people do that broke down. Number 9 is you gotta cultivate a positive mindset. By the way, I ain't perfect in this. Like there's things that hit me all the time. It's like, oh God, people don't really talk about mental health. Your mental health and your emotional EQ or your EQ, that's what we wanna do. We wanna really make our mind strong. So meditation, and look, therapy is incredible. Like if any of you have been through any traumas, you got some blocks, you don't know why that happens, get some therapy. There's some incredible people out there just having a conversation. So if you keep it inside, all these things, they go into your cells and your cells remember. So that's why there's some things you do you and like, you just like freeze because you haven't got it out. I used to think this like therapy is just for people who have a broken life. It's not. For me, it's like, it doesn't matter what happens in my life, it happens for a reason. I always ask, why did this happen to me now? And what's the lesson I will learn from this? You want to be successful. These are some of the pearls of wisdom I've learned over the last 20 years that can really help you get more successful faster. And the sooner you learn it, the faster you can implement it, the more successful you become, the faster you become successful. Number 10, and this is a really important one. When I figured this out, everything changed in my life. If you understand this and you really truly cultivate it, your life will change immediately. Let me explain what this is. Before I do that, if any of you would love to learn more, I do run a lot of virtual events where we teach a lot of things in a lot more detail, because the problem with that, you can't see my screen or anything like that. So if any of you would love to attend any of our virtual events, we run them pretty much every single month. Head over to johnleeevent.com. I'll leave a link below this and you can attend that as well. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video, because it just really helps the algorithm. So every time I upload a video, you'll be able to see what the new video is. Okay, number 10, if you want to be ultimately successful, you must always give back. And that's not just about giving money back. It's about giving your time. It's about giving your expertise. It's not being selfish with your knowledge. I see too many people, they want to hold on to everything themselves. What I believe is what you give, you get. So you put great things out there, you get great things back. You put bad things out there, you get bad things back. By the way, if any of you ever seen me out in the streets, and I know a lot of you have always come to me and say, oh, John, thank you so much for that advice and really made an impact to my life. Come and say hi. Don't be shy. I want to know how this content has really changed your life, because I've been doing this for 20 years and I've made a lot of money doing this over the last 20 years, and I've lost a lot of money as well. So you can learn from the lessons that I've made, and those are the lessons where I've lost. But I always never say that I've lost, I've learned instead. You see, positive mindset. People say, John, are you always like this positive? You always have this energy? Actually, no. Sometimes I wake up and I feel a little bit stressed or I feel a bit of anxiety, but I've got tools in place that can help me reset that immediately. Whether it's breath work, whether it's cold plunges, whether it's exercise, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's just having a session with one of my advisors. That's why you should always create a strong network, because it makes a massive difference. And that's one thing I know about a lot of rich people. When I see a lot of rich people, I always see that they have these traits. They have these things that make them successful. And you look at the people who are not successful, they don't have all these things I'm telling you right now. So if you just make a conscious effort to be able to do that, it will really blow you away. In fact, if you check out this video here, I've got a couple of videos here that you want to check out. These videos will tell you, first of all, what are the things that rich people know? And also, what are some of the trends and mindsets that we need to adopt in order to get to the next level? Because there is such thing as a money mindset as well. People always say money doesn't buy happiness. Well, listen, money may not buy happiness, but it's pretty high up there with oxygen. When they say that, they have a thing around money. They think, well, if I make more money, then I won't be happy. So you got to change a lot of that mindset. So that's what some of these videos I'll pin at the end will do this. Okay, so go and check out these videos here. If you've got any questions, leave a comment below. I'll personally come into the comments and answer the questions myself. Other than that, this is John Lee, your mentor. Remember, do whatever it takes, take massive action, and believe anything is possible. Check out these videos here. See you in the next video.